This is Justin Arnett Graham.
My name's Nariba Shepherd.
And this is Terms of Service. Good morning.
Girl, good morning.
We're almost close to the afternoon, but
It's definitely noon. It's afternoon.
It is afternoon.
12. Yes.
It is afternoon. So yeah. So good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi.
I did not mentally prepare, and by mentally I mean eat more than a croissant with cream cheese this morning.
So you're doing great.
For this episode we're going into.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a brand new day.
It's a brand new day.
Yes.
And I'm ready.
Perfect. So how are you feeling? Well,
I mean, other than that, I'm feeling kind of great. I have a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks that before I'd be like, this is overwhelming. You have overcommitted, but I didn't. I haven't overcommitted. I've definitely just spaced out the 5 job options that I have going at all times to fit my schedule. So, it might be
That feels very Gen Z of you.
Listen, that's what a day planner is for, which I got from Healthy Poor. We have our planners. You can find it on the website.
Yeah, you're like, there we go.
Help me, help you, help you. And
on that note, well, that just helped me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
How are you doing though?
I'm well. I'm just, riding the the upcoming wave that is, my upcoming birthday. So there's that. When this drops, we'll be full on in Aquarius season.
Yes.
So again, I don't really know what that means, but
big
I feel
Aquarius
like I'm coming
mood.
into my
Yeah. You have already pre-planned your birthday week from now. So you're you dropped it in the last episode that your birthday's coming up. Mm-hmm. Then this one will also drop
because last year, but that's fine.
I hope you all felt the eye roll. We did not. We were babies.
Yeah,
How long had we been recording episodes at that point?
I don't know. I have to look at my calendar.
I think it was maybe 5 months.
Okay.
But I didn't know. I didn't understand this whole record and then drop situation. I was I'm just talking on the internet and maybe people are listening.
They are.
And now it's oh shit, people are actually listening.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah, and they agreed to sit down with us.
I know.
And
it was a humble brag. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
No.
It was great.
Yes. Well, hi, Liz.
Hi.
How are you?
Feeling pretty good.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
to Sunday at Terms of Service.
Sundays with Terms of Service.
This is a Sunday service.
This is a Sunday service. So
dang.
Yeah. You heard it here, not first.
Yeah. No, not first.
But there's that. So Liz Pierce, this is great. And looking at you is amazing because you're just knowing you and you're just hello, hi, I'm doing just fine. We'll get you out of your show. It's fine.
I'm excited to see
I'm
more.
very shy. I'm a wallflower.
Oh, okay. Well,
I get that.
Anybody who knows me knows that.
Well,
but when is your birthday though?
Yeah, it's let's start breaking the ice.
Oh boy, I'm a full-fledged Scorpio.
Listen, if
and
there's, I felt that energy. Yeah,
it's gonna come out. I'm watching this tiger right here. I'm this tiger painting on the wall, and he's got his little paws crossed, but he could pounce at any moment.
Exactly. Y'all are. That is the brand. That is the brand.
Yeah.
Fun, but don't sleep on me because I could cut you.
Yep.
It's fair.
Slice you.
So, and that reminds me of something that I talked about prior to where Scorpios and I, we can go back and forth, specifically male Scorpios, but
it's their fault. Usually I say it's not their fault, but it's their fault. And that's how I feel about Aries men.
Okay.
1,000% of the time. I'm I know a lot of Aries dudes that are pretty chill, but when it comes down to the base of it, it's I don't want man baby energy.
All right.
And that's what it is.
Does anybody though? Is anybody like, man, I could really go for some man baby?
You would be surprised.
I feel like there's that
Cancers
aspect of...
do exist. No offense.
I feel like there's that element of...
No offense!
Of I can fix him. You know?
Okay.
So that's... You know, it's like, sometimes you want a project. I don't, personally. But, you know, sometimes people, they want to work a little bit
I fucks with the project. I do.
I mean, I fuck with the project all day. We know.
But
Like a
Aries
home
men don't
renovation.
learn.
Yeah,
like
something like...
A good book, not
like-
a person
No,
project. I
you
did
know,
that in my 20s.
Yeah, like me
currently
personally
reading-
at this moment, I'm good on that. But, you know, shout out to those that are still on their journey.
I'm still on my journey. I started reading a fucking choose your own ending romance novel that I was gifted for Christmas. No
sexy.
shade, no tea. I love it.
Okay.
Take me all the way back to Goosebumps at like school book sales where they had the ones where you could choose your own ending.
Oh, yeah.
An adult person did that for a romance novel. Haven't finished all of them yet, but I will have a report.
Okay.
But
When
do
I
you
do.
go back and
can.
if you don't like your ending, you go back
can.
and redo it?
If you want to.
I
hate
used
myself,
to read
so I'll go back.
all of the endings.
Yeah, same.
And because I was very indecisive.
It's like when Netflix made that like choose your own like story. I can't even remember if it was like a show or a movie or something. It was interactive. I was here for it. I watched all of them because I could, because I'm insane.
Well, because you have to know.
I have to know.
Because I'm nosy.
Macoing is how we say that in Trinidad. If you're macoing somebody's business,
Yeah.
you're being nosy.
I gotta know.
Yeah. My dad was a journalist, so he called it being aware of your surroundings. But it was just
There's a lot of
macoing.
terms for it, you know?
Fair. Well, Liz,
Yeah.
you're from Fargo.
Sure am.
You're from Fargo, eh?
You bet.
Yeah. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, boy. It means a lot.
I know that there's that movie.
Yeah, so the movie, here's the funny thing. The movie doesn't even really take place in Fargo. So we all are very quick to point that out. It mostly takes place in Brainerd, which is a very lovely small town. I don't know for sure. I've never been there. I don't want to make any comments about
I will
things that
believe
I don't
anything
know
that you say.
firsthand.
Yeah.
We don't put people in wood chippers, but fun fact, the wife, the one that gets kidnapped in the movie, lives like 2 doors down from my parents.
Okay,
which
so
is
I think it's really important for me to mention that I have never seen the movie.
I was about to say, I will believe anything you say because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I had
So, like-
no idea. All
Okay,
I remember
so-
is that like that movie
I'm
was
still watching
everywhere.
Grey's Anatomy, so don't like expect
Never
me to
seen
have like a
that,
birth.
so-
At this
Oh.
point, it feels like Grey's Anatomy is going to be on for like the rest of
150
time.
years.
I will watch it until I die
It's the new
because I
General
have to know.
Hospital.
Where's the new General Hospital?
General Hospital is still on television.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a soap opera that my nanny used to watch.
Yeah.
when she was watching me.
I know what General Hospital is. I probably
Okay.
looked confused as hell, but like,
It's still on the
actually,
air.
I was very confused because I was thinking it was ER. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, so I was like, the look that I had was real. Because
I like it.
Yeah, I thought George
How
Clooney
dare you?
I know, I'm
George
sorry.
Clooney is rolling in his late coat.
in his Rolls
Yeah.
Royce, like
Yeah,
He's rolling in his
he's
rose.
fine.
Oh my god.
yes, I mean, we haven't even really gotten to the episode, and I already dropped that. So yeah. And again, it just came to me, so
Listen,
it is what it is.
this 2022 energy. You're just like, it's brand new and I'm gonna take it
Yeah,
until it gives me essence to 2020,
Because
which
it's
it
giving.
felt like that because it's giving.
because it's giving. This is correct. So
I'm sorry, I just recently started watching RuPaul. Literally, I felt like a bad gay because I just couldn't. I don't like when people are being mean to each other, but I think that I've learned so much about drag culture,
Biblioteca
like
S
separate.
open
Reading
is
Tea
what
is the truth. It's fundamental.
absolutely.
Hashtag the library is open.
Yes.
In the tradition of Paris is burning. Okay, I'm gonna stop now.
No, you're fine.
But like, I just wanted to like say that sorry in advance for all of the rainbow that's just gonna like pour out of my mouth today.
We're very.
I watched like
Gosh.
6 hours of it yesterday because
Oh
I was
wow.
flying.
Okay,
from,
so you're in
Yeah.
the trenches.
I'm in the trenches,
Wow.
but I'm making a headway. I'm 4 seasons in. I started last Sunday.
Isn't
Nice.
there a bar that shows it?
That would be the tracks. That would be Sidetrack.
And everybody like gets
Roscoe's?
together and watches the episodes together. I feel like that's the way to do it.
Roscoe's is the live viewing. Sidetracks just has everyone watching.
Just all the time it's on.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Well, there you go.
My friends
Well,
used to
great.
like be in my living room watching it, and I'd come home from work, and they'd be like, "Look at that." I'm like, I can't do this, and I would
There's
just
too
go
much
to my room.
conflict.
It's too much. Like, you know what? You're right. It is too much conflict because I would come home from work where I was like the only woman of color that is gay and an immigrant with 100% white dudes, and then I would get home and then I have to hear more bickering, and I'm like, no. But now that I have been in this
nice,
panini
quiet,
press for
safe
so
space.
long, I'm like, give me that tea.
Yeah.
I want to be
You
in
need it.
someone's drama.
Yeah. Well, and on that
That's
note,
Stockholm syndrome.
Damn right.
I was like on that note. So Fargo
Yeah.
to Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Yeah. Talk
How
to
did
us
that
about
happen? Well, that is
about
a
that
whole
winding
situation.
Okay.
road.
All
We have
right.
time.
Well, I worked at a dive bar in Fargo called the Empire, and it was a real dump in the best way. It was like something that
I
we
love
like
a dive
embraced.
bar,
It was
yeah.
our dump, you know.
Yeah.
There was like mushrooms growing on the side of the ice machine and stuff, and like you know.
That's a
Yeah.
brand.
So this bar is where I kind of like came up in the world, and you know, I was like making a lot of money in cash, and that was great and all that, but it was very I don't know, unexciting. It was the same people that would come in every day and sit in the same spots, and they would drink the same thing, and we would have the same conversations. And
damn.
I shit you not, like the jukebox, they would play the same like 10 songs repeated, and then they would do it again the next day. And I like love those people, and I love coming home and seeing them, but I was just like, isn't there anything more? I felt like Belle and the Beauty and the Beast. Like, is this all there is in this provincial life?
Oh my God.
I need more. So
real.
ended up in Chicago, and I've been here for 11, 12 years now. So,
Right.
and I worked in some weird places here.
Tell us about it.
Oh my God. So my first place that I worked at, I came down and I interviewed at, I don't know, 10, 12 spots. And nobody gave a shit that I'd been bartending in Fargo, North Dakota for, 7, 8 years at this point. They were like, do you even know how to make Negronis? And I was like, a what?
That's real.
Como? So I got this job at this bar called Redmond's. It is now closed. It was in Wrigleyville, and the place was...
Wrigleyville, that was your first?
Yeah, they hired me as a server.
Goddamn.
And I quickly moved up the ranks, if you can call it that, to be a bartender, but this place perpetually smelled like pee. And our shifts were scheduled based on how much our sales were. So you were constantly trying to get people to buy you shots so that your sales would be higher.
So you're like a shot girl?
So I was like guzzling energy shots and like, just whatever I could. So I was like a human trash can so that my shifts would be better. That didn't last very long. Like at a certain point, I was like, this ain't working. So I moved around a little bit and ended up at some pretty notable, let's say, high-end places, and kind of like worked my way through the ranks, and eventually got, an apprenticeship, and then
C'est la vie.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The rest is history.
God dang.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you feel as if you went from Redmond's to, did you feel like you jumped to the next level, or did you have like another
No. No, I had to kind of like climb the ranks. So once I became a bartender at Redmond's, kind of knew that was not like the end of the road for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not done with
There's
this.
more.
And then I started serving and sort of every now and then bartending at this place called Market. Terrible place in the West Loop. But it was like the West Loop in its like infancy, like, when there was like still actually guys like pushing carts of like carcasses and stuff,
I think
like the
came
streets were all
after that.
bloody.
I didn't
and,
know
like,
about that.
Oh yeah,
It was like the
meatpacking, baby.
meatpacking district.
Like every night, they'd be like washing down the sidewalks and like washing all the
So
blood
gross.
off. Oh my God, it's
Dang.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
You miss that, yeah. Well, you know what I do miss is that I used to park like right in front of my place. Like I would just
You're like, I
drive
do
up.
miss the parking,
Ooh,
though.
the parking was incredible. Yeah. Those days are gone.
Yes.
So I worked there for a little bit, and that's, and that was terrible too. And then finally got a job, in a well-known cocktail bar called the Aviary. But and I sort of like learned a lot about mixology and stuff there. So
Great.
There's always one place that I feel like you go to. I feel like when I first moved to Chicago, it was about just having a job. And I like moved here from Vermont because that's where I like did the coulage. And I was used to that, and then I moved to Chicago and like I did go to high school in New Jersey. Like I know what a city looks like, all this stuff, but Chicago is different. And then the food here, there's so many more options than the East Coast. I love the East Coast, but it's not the same level of like food and beverage.
we have more, I think this is something that I've learned after traveling a lot. We have a lot more like approachable chefy spots here. Like
True.
I feel like it's easier to sit down and have an amazing meal, but you don't have to do like fine dining.
Yeah. Well,
There's more middle stuff.
exactly. And I feel like whenever I go back to Boston to visit my family, it's always like a check to remind me that like food is growing and expanding, but we already live in one of those places where it happens,
Yeah.
which is why I feel like the shift in how we do things here is fundamental to the growth of like this region. Like the Midwest is getting better at just not having what we talked about the last episode, toasted ravioli.
So I kept saying fried ravioli, but apparently it is toasted, and
Yeah.
I apologize to the people of St. Louis for not knowing the
Thank you
goddamn
so
difference.
much.
Is that a
Thank you.
massive St. Louis thing?
As I have learned,
We
yeah,
learned
it's a
that
thing.
last recording
yeah.
that it is not a fried ravioli like we have here in Chicago. It is toasted.
Well, we do like to fry stuff.
Yeah. Well, also,
That's what drew me to the
do we
Midwest.
have fried ravioli here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, silly me.
I got
JV
the Olive Garden
Alberto's
for sure.
Olive
Yeah, I can get it
Garden.
in the trio.
When
Oh, yeah,
you're
this is
here,
true.
you're
Yeah,
family,
okay.
bitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Whether
think
you like it or not.
Yes. I
Whether
love
you
doing
like
the
it or
wine
not.
tastings there. Did you know
for
you could do
25 cents a
that?
pour.
No.
No, not even. They like
They took it
well,
away.
They'll
They
just
said
keep,
it went to. They say it went to charity because that's what they used to say back in
No,
the day.
they free now. Be like, oh, let me just taste this.
Oh,
Let
so
me
there's-
taste this.
so
Let me
they
taste
said
I don't know if I
nothing
wanna
going to
taste any
charity.
of those.
Yeah.
You don't. I did it once because I knew that I could taste all of them. Sorry.
I had a mango rum martini from the place that keeps you family, and
That
Yeah,
does
we're
sound
not-
like something your family member would make.
yeah, but I don't want to be family with them like that anymore
Listen, Red
because I
Lobster
was
has the
beyond gone.
Red Lobster
Oh,
has
wow.
the best
Yeah.
pina colada because it never separates.
Aren't you the same person that said that
It
you
never
believe
separates.
that place is a front?
No, that's
For what?
That's not Red Lobster. That's the yellow and blue sign.
It's the
silver.
Yes, it's
Long John Silver.
Long
Yes,
John
yes.
Silver's.
Yeah.
110%
exist
has to
anymore?
be
Yeah,
a front.
so-
It has to. How are they open?
I don't know. People like clam strips.
Have you ever seen someone?
But it's the
have
same
you ever
thing.
seen
It's-
someone inside or a car in the parking lot? Anyone in the driver?
Never seen anybody walking down the
Never.
street with like a bag of Long John Silvers.
They had one of those. Well, I've never seen that either. They have like Long John Silver's and then like a Bed Bath and Beyond right in a parking lot near like somewhere in Forest Park, Forest Lake Forest.
Oh,
that
Lake Forest.
area. Yeah.
yeah.
And I've never seen anyone in either of the parking lots, but they're open. I'm just saying. That's my conspiracy theory.
I feel like it's really similar to that of which I believe we
the Jay-Z wig. What? Just
Okay,
kidding.
no, that's not what I was mentioning. But,
Jay-Z has a lace front.
but
You heard it from me.
I'm shocked.
I'm gonna speed right past that. White Castle, because people were like, "How the hell is White Castle still a thing?" And I was
Me.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, I was like,
my
yeah, I was like,
husband.
people- okay,
And Mario Scavuzzo,
okay.
sweet Mario, those two, middle of the night, $70 worth of White Castle
You damn
delivered.
right.
Damn, so like
All
y'all
the time.
So they would
I
just
would-
fuck up a crave case.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, for sure.
Okay.
And those chicken rings, they're disgusting.
I hate the
The little
chicken
burgers,
rings.
not so bad.
Their
They're
mozzarella
not so
sticks
bad.
are great also.
Chicken
That's
doesn't
fair.
come in a ring.
That's fair. No, it
It doesn't grow like that.
does not.
Oh, this is refreshing.
Yes. So, there is this beautiful cocktail that has been prepared for us that is highlighting Fighting 69 Irish whiskey. Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I would love to. I
Yeah.
thought you'd never ask.
Yeah.
The Fighting 69th is
this is great.
it's an Irish
Fighting
whiskey.
69th, excuse
Yes.
me. Not Fighting 69. That's very different.
Very different.
Very different. Okay, got it. Yeah, I believe we touched upon that earlier.
This is
Yes.
a little ode in collaboration with the 69th Regiment in New York, which is predominantly made up of Irish Americans, and they have been active since Civil War days.
Goddamn.
The term "the Fighting Irish," Robert E. Lee apparently was very angry about their tenacity, and he said something about those damn fighting Irish. And much like,
be that
being
way.
called a bitch or something, you own it and you say, "Damn right we are."
Okay.
So they
damn
kept
right.
the term.
That's some Islander shit.
They owned it. They
Yeah.
took it and they said, "All right, we'll show you."
My partner
They're like, I'm
is
gonna
like, I
be-
will
I'm
never
gonna be
fight
the
someone
best
from
of
an
that.
island.
I'm going to be the best of that you just called me.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
don't fight people
You're
who
gonna
are from
regret that.
islands.
Right.
You know, Ireland, the Caribbean doesn't matter. Just like, don't fight people from islands because they will fuck you up.
That's right.
Right. Well, and I mean, I don't know too much about Irish whiskey, but I will definitely say that this is very refreshing and well balanced with like the rosemary syrup and like lemon juice and grapefruit juice in here.
It
and
tastes
it's
like a
like-
cold hot toddy.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
This is
Very
great.
citrus forward.
And we have some Angostura bitters.
The bitters of my
So, yeah.
people.
With just a splash of soda.
Yeah, I'm
because
from
it's-
Trinidad. That's where
Trinidad.
they're from.
Yes, that is exactly where they're from. So see,
Yeah.
look at that.
You
Bringing
tell
it
them
full
good
circle
job.
over here.
It's
See?
listen.
I
I,
think that
did not
stuff is gonna
appreciate it
stick
when I
around.
was like a kid. My dad worked
staying power.
like within
They might have it on tap
like
somewhere.
a mile of the factory, so we'd have
cool.
to drive past the factory whenever we were picking them up from work, and it would smell like bitters around it.
Allspice and cinnamon
Just
and
give me that
proprietary
Angostura.
ingredients.
So good.
Right.
They won't tell
Proprietary.
us. I'm hoping that one day I become famous enough that they take me on a tour of the company and give me the secret. Angostura.
Tell us.
It could be us.
It could be. It could be us.
Wait, let me translate it real quick. Good afternoon, representatives of Angostura. It is me, Nariba Shepherd. My dad was Keith Shepherd, swag. We would like to do stuff with you
We would like
professionally.
secrets.
Yes.
Give us the secrets, Dem. Good afternoon.
Heard that. Well, we're gonna pull that as a soundbite for them
Oh, God.
very specifically. But yes. So, Liz, well, me personally, I feel like, I knew you just through industry because I always heard your name. I'd be at like tastings and someone would be like, oh yeah, like Liz Pierce, and I was just like, that's a cool name. I was like, great, wonderful.
Glad you
And they're
think
like,
so.
but she's like, she's like the girl that's like doing all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone that just, whether like I'm trying to do the things or like the things are just kind of happening, it's like
the things are doing you.
or the things.
Yeah,
that are
I was
doing
gonna
me.
say,
I
you
mean,
just like let that opportunity slide.
Yeah, I'm just like that's the whole. It's like they're.
Oh, I
there
wasn't
we go.
gonna let it go.
No,
Yeah, I was
thank
just like,
you.
no,
Yeah.
it's fine. So thank you
Nothing
so
gets
much
by
to
me.
you both. Yeah, that's wonderful. So you have made a name for yourself and the acclaim that you've had, and like how has that been? Because I mean, it's more than just the journey of being at Market and Redmond's and that very, very well known elevated cocktail spot.
That one place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, it's
I've read
been a
articles.
process.
I read articles about you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We
we're
all
gonna-
did.
Yeah. 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 We Googled you.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to being in the right place at the right time, for sure,
I agree.
and having just really kind of serendipitous opportunities. But I will definitely say that it was a lot of work and a lot of practice and reading and learning and humbling situations.
It's always the humble.
Oh,
you always
man.
have to. I feel like in the industry, everyone is like, fly high, do this thing. But in the
first-
end, they're like, you have to figure out how to like bring it down a notch or two. And it's not to bring it down, but it's like, how do I become accessible?
Yeah.
It's about becoming accessible to everyone instead of just like specific people.
But then also doing that in such a male-dominated space
Yeah.
of the industry.
Yeah. Well, that is certainly the thing, right? I do feel like that's changing quite a bit now. But at the time, 10, 12 years ago, I was lucky to have my mentor be a woman, Christiana DeLuca, at the drawing room. And she kind of took a chance on me.
Christiana.
Yeah.
Hi.
She took a chance on me and really kind of like brought me up. But I can tell you, man, when you would show up for a shift at 3 p.m. and you would spend 3 hours juicing and then you would work until 5 a.m. and, drawing room was a cool bar and we had some amazing cocktails.
I used to love the drawing room.
Our thing was 30 seconds to the window, chef. So like we had 4 bartenders and a bar back on at an 8-seat bar and we didn't want you to have to wait 20 minutes for that high-end cocktail.
Goddamn.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we just pumped, but like we would get out after 14-hour shifts and we'd have like $80, in our pocket. It was like brutal. There were times that I would walk out of there crying. Sun was coming up. People were at the Starbucks across the street. You know what I mean? And it'd be like 6:30 in the morning.
Fuck.
And
Jesus.
yeah, birds would be out and I'd have $110
I
or something
can't not
like
want
that. It was
that.
brutal.
No.
So that obviously didn't, that was not sustainable. I think what's crazy, there were people that had worked there for like 5-6 years that were doing that.
How many other jobs did they have though?
0. Yeah, there was just the
That's
one.
how I thought
was
that
just the
people
one.
were just doing like one job all the time. I'm like, how are
Oh
y'all
my
making
God,
all this
no.
money go now? And then I realized everyone had multiple jobs.
Yeah, so while I was at the drawing room, I was also at Purple Pig because I really wanted to learn about wine because I was the new kid. And also in order to fit with my drawing room schedule, I would be there at like 9 a.m. until, 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Were you
and then
doing doubles between the two?
Yeah, I only did the double twice a week.
Okay.
But that would be like, oh
Death.
man, they all knew that like when I was coming in that night, they were like, ooh, look out for this. She's gonna be grumpy.
Well,
Maybe
is
like,
it-
take a shot of whiskey. And
Yeah,
I'd be
well-
like, oh, okay.
Well, would it be because you had worked so much prior, or it's because they were treating you as, perhaps an emotional woman?
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, like I said, luckily, my boss was female, so she didn't play too much into that. And the 2 guys that were my peers there, they were really chill. So they were great.
Okay.
But Purple Pig definitely didn't have too much patience for that. You know what I mean? And they
I feel like
you showed up on time and ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't have any.
it's a different like brand of responsibility. They have their system that is delightful and like it works for them. But I feel like if you are a person who's doing like independent builds, that's not a place that's going to foster that talent. But
Yeah.
you said you used it for the wine knowledge.
Yeah, I
So,
wanted
you
to
know,
learn, and it was amazing. Like, I had a really great wine mentor, Joe Filey, who I just found out has stage 4 cancer, and I'm like losing my mind over it. So if you go on my Facebook, there's a link to donate.
From Joe's Imports?
Yeah, Joe from Joe's Imports. So there's a
Are you
GoFundMe up. If you have a couple bucks, if you've
What's
ever
your
had
Instagram?
what's my Instagram?
Yeah, just because you said it's on your profile.
Lizzie P217.
And we'll
217
repeat that
spells
again at
Liz
the
upside
end.
down.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
No, that was...
Super deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've ever had a glass of wine in the city, there's a really good chance that, that could be traced back to Joe and his education because he was so passionate about, he made learning about wine fun. Like you were just I've asked him, in recent years, I'm like, if I can come to any of your staff trainings, like I want to sit down and just hear you talk about wine. He's just, you walk in the doors of that place and you're like, Joe, this is my friend. He's visiting from out of town. And he'll be like, let's open some bubbles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like every moment is a celebration.
Your face is so infectious when you talk about him.
Oh, he's a light.
Honestly.
So he's going to kick this thing's ass and we're going to
Oh, absolutely.
clink
Out
some
there.
drinks.
Yeah, and we're gonna,
Channel
blast
the
Fuck
universe.
cancer.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's fuck cancer all day, every day,
All day.
Absolutely. And so it brings up something that I feel like you and I are a bit closer to, because someone that we, in addition to Joe, know mutually, had a bout with cancer and is like going through their experience. And I just, on this, I really want to like bring attention and like commend you for during the pterosaur that we find ourselves in, or just the pandemic spend cycle. We'll just fucking call it that.
We're just doing it.
Bringing so much attention and care to like starting GoFundMe for other people in the industry. Like, I think that that's so kind, and like it's something that like just blew me away.
Yeah.
And like the person that I'm like thinking about, it's like,
Can we talk about how broken this is? That's where we have to go now.
I mean,
like-
I literally have a GoFundMe for my mouth right now because I need over 14 grand in dental work.
How is this a thing?
Yeah.
I just don't.
right.
If you want to donate to my GoFundMe, it's on my Instagram
God.
at Rebaroo, because
Richest
Mama
country
needs
in the world,
fucking
and
teeth.
we
It's
can't-
luxury bones.
Exactly right.
Luxury bones.
We don't really need our teeth.
Yeah, who needs those? I mean, okay, so
Whatever.
technically we did it to ourselves, because in the golden days, sorry, let me take that back. The olden days, not the golden days.
I was like, which days were
that was
those?
the 80s.
When was that?
In the olden days,
I was like, that was a lifetime ago, actually.
before like currency was happening, bones were, or not bones, but your teeth were able to be like filed down and used for other purposes. So that would be a part of bartering and trade. People would literally pull a tooth and trade it for goods.
Oh my
Medieval
gosh.
times, my dudes.
Oh my gosh.
When I learned about that, I was like, no wonder people were walking around with wooden teeth.
Right. Ouch.
Wow. If you
Yeah.
lose all your teeth, do you still have to brush them?
Your gums
the
harden.
gums.
I've literally seen someone bite into an apple just gums.
Ouch.
No, your
You just
gums.
took my breath
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
yeah.
We don't wish that
Fascinating
on anyone.
No, I do not wish that on anyone.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
Oh. So donate to the GoFundMe.
Yes. So the fact that, again, like there are GoFundMes out there to help support people in the industry because of all of the, like, we can talk forever about the systemic issues, but also just the internal structures for hospitality-centric businesses that will, again,
Forego things like mental health, insurance
and also
to cover
it just
your
becomes
struggles.
like, because I've talked about it before, it's just like it becomes a commodity of it all.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's just like, why are you investing in X amount of this for an actual person? And the reality is just like the industry is closer to like losing everything, literally every moment of every day, than I believe the general public
Is
likes
actually
to
aware of.
acknowledge and are aware of.
100%.
Yeah.
But because we don't talk about it,
Right.
businesses forego doing things like insurance or health benefits or helping you set up like a 401k, what benefits are available to you stock option wise, even for bigger groups, because they don't want to waste money on resources that don't go directly back into the company itself. So why would they want to pay out health insurance or paid time off or any of those things? Because it doesn't directly come back to the business.
Right.
So, but I think that's once again based off the fact that like the customers have set up the expectations of the job, and the expectation of us is to be less than the people coming in because we are servers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we change that so that the customers see us as worthwhile, our bosses and employers see us as worthwhile, and when does our mental, physical, and emotional health become the priority for the business?
Yeah.
Because
which would help retain
people,
employees. And I think a lot of so I have a very unique perspective on this because I've been on both ownership, management, bottom of the totem pole, nobody. I've been all of those positions, and it's, I think part of it, people are like, well, why don't bars and restaurants offer health insurance? Well, I can tell you the first reason is because a lot of them can't afford to pay $400 or more per person per month. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the margins for a lot of these smaller restaurants are it's
even higher,
razor thin. It's hard enough to succeed in a restaurant without paying those things. I think some of the bigger groups, and one of the groups I work for, Lettuce, I mean, they have figured out how to offer some of these like discounted programs to employees, and I think that that's really cool. But they also have like economies of scale within their business that make it possible to do that.
Right.
Owning a small independent place, it's impossible.
The fact that they're even sharing that information through the job instead of just like being like, well, figure it out on your own, which is very White House CDC, if you ask me. But like, I think that that's a step towards what we need to see is like the group or like the employer being like, these are resources, even though we may not have the best options for you, these are things that could work. Some places don't even have that shit.
But it shouldn't
be
cost that much to be alive. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't have to have a great job in order to be healthy. I just think that's crazy.
Yeah,
I have decent insurance and I can't afford to go to the doctor.
You're damn right. I get insurance, but I never use it because I'm like, it feels like it's more expensive.
Right, but also it's just like I was going through figuring out just coverage for this year, and truthfully and honestly, part of me was just like, I don't want to fucking like, I don't want to like, I don't want to do this because it's such an absurd amount of money. It's such an absurd amount of money, and everything came back to the fact that it's like risk management. It's
totally.
Like, and I'm like, I can understand that to a certain degree, but like, how and who are you trying to convince like of this idea of risk management? Because you are trying to put a dollar amount on like the management of like my own risk, and I am just paying this amount of money to be able to walk around just in case something were to happen.
Just being alive.
Just being alive.
I just wanted to sing that song by Jagged Edge so bad, but we can't.
Which one?
You know what I'm talking about. You said just in case.
Oh, stop it.
This song is on brand. It's about insurance and everything.
I know. Okay. All right. Well, very, 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 very well done.
Oh, damn. She's spicy.
Very, very well done. And
it's a tasty hot time.
Yes. Who is she? Tell me more. What's in her?
So, before I go on like that massive tangent when it has to go, when it has to do with
tell us about the tea before we sip it.
I know. So yes,
we're so good at derailing.
Oh no, that's great. So again, we have a hot toddy with fighting 69th. 69th. Okay, and so there is nonino and lemon chili, and it's literally matching my spiciness in regards to talking about insurance coverage, and some honey syrup.
If you hate your insurance company, this is a great
is a great cocktail for you. Before
if
you
you
go
love
ahead,
your coverage, this ain't for you.
Good. Actually, the first fighting 69th beverage option would be
more
for
high coverage.
Yeah,
people.
it's just like, oh, okay, the PPOs. You know?
But if you got a little fire in you,
This right here. This is
I think
it's
you
delightful.
like
wine.
chugging these cocktails. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
I was like, we usually don't have spirited beverages, and I feel like I'm not used to it. I'm like,
So you're feeling great.
I'm feeling great.
You're like, I'm feeling
Right.
wonderful right
I'm
now.
just like,
Yeah.
well, this is actually very warm. I like the spice level. I think that the actual capsaicin and this like cinnamon together is a match
Yes.
made in heaven. Dare I say, someone thought they did it, Fireball, but they did not.
Oh.
This is. Am I allowed to do that? Is that too spicy?
I think it's
Max said we're
okay.
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
We'll see what someone else says.
No, it's fine.
Are the
It's-
CFOs out there listening?
Right,
Fireball?
I mean, you know,
Can you hear me?
It wasn't slander.
No.
I fucks with fireballs. In Boston, in some of the liquor stores, they have the heart, like chocolate box filled with fireballs,
Oh boy.
the little like nips.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Anytime I think about anything like that, I just think about like the meme of Super Mario jumping through all like the crazy like fireball like like rods and things, and I just can't do it. But also, I'm not going to focus on them there. So,
Listen, all I'm saying is that we got a Switch over Christmas, and my Mario Kart skills for this generation have increased. My nephew didn't need to put the bumpers on for me last time I was in Boston.
That's important.
It is important to me because family time.
family time.
However you do it.
How like I didn't have time for my family the way that I've been able to have time for them. Even just coming down to like WhatsApping and like FaceTiming people in the last 2 years.
Oh, don't FaceTime me.
Versus what I would.
Don't FaceTime me.
I have thought about it sometimes,
FaceTime me.
but you don't
Do not
even
FaceTime
like
me.
when we have to do like Zoom stuff.
Yeah, no.
Well,
no.
Zoom is the worst. Can we,
Yeah, like it's like no, like
Come on.
I don't want
I
to do.
and there's
Still-
always that like quarter-second delay, so then like nobody's talking and you
Yeah.
go to say something and then someone else, and then you're like,
Yeah. No,
I'm in the
it's
honeymoon
just the
phase
worst.
of Zoom because
That's
I never
fine.
really had to use it before these
That's
like
fine.
last 2 years.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I don't even have to do it that much, but like recently with working with this whiskey and everything like that, like I've started doing more meetings and everything. I don't know how the work from home people do it.
Oh.
Like 8-10 hours a day.
I'm learning
They get
right
up
now.
and they've got their, I mean, can we normalize pajamas on Zoom? Like it's 8 a.m. Come on, let me.
I literally just
me be
put a
in my
cardigan.
jammies.
Well, this is the thing. Okay, so
Let's
even
not
though
judge.
even
Let
though
me
we
be my
Yeah,
sadness.
no, I'm gonna let you two finish, and I have got to tell you
so
the crazy.
literally the Zoom
It's
meetings
great.
that I've been a part of, it's like me, Laura Louise Green, who's fucking beautiful, and like
Hello.
whoever we're talking to from different organizations and stuff, and we're doing this whole Zoom, and at the end of it, we're like, just want to check in with everyone, blah blah blah, and usually it's always like, how are you pretending to be present here today? And I think I won the last one because I had a nightgown that my dad bought me at a flea market in like 1999 that he bought as an extra large because he had no concept
moo-moo.
of exactly.
Hell yeah.
And then I put a cardigan over it because it was like a navy collar, and I just buttoned up the cardigan a little bit, and I left my hair in like my scarf that I sleep in, and they were like, "So what's going on with you?" I was like, "I am wearing
I'm in my
a
pajamas.
pajama that has
I'm
moods
in my
of cats'
nighty."
faces all over the front of it.
Ooh.
All the cats have the same face
Got it.
because they're cats."
Okay.
That was the end of my story.
No, that
I think it's important. Whatever like small little thing you can do to keep your privacy and everything, you know what I mean? Like you're like, I'm giving in being on the Zoom call.
right.
Yeah.
I put a sweater on over
not
my
leaving.
silky pajamas.
Yeah.
But underneath I know that
It's my pajama.
I'm still in bed.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just like I'm chilling right now. There was a video that I saw on that wildly popular bird app, aka Twitter, and it was
Thanks for spelling that out.
Yeah,
I
no
was
problem.
sorry. I
I mean,
didn't know
just
what you were
then,
talking
TWITTER. I
Okay,
live
you
with a
literally spelled it out.
6-year-old.
Okay, yeah.
She can't spell, so we're milking it. We're fucking milking it.
No. But so it was this guy just like laid out on the sofa and they're like, "Hey, so and so, are you gonna be are we gonna be able to see your face today?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you can't see my face today. I have been on the phone with IT this morning, and my camera's not working." And I was like, "That's a lie that I have literally said numerous times." I was like, "You will not be seeing my face on Zoom." And then it cuts to him like making a sandwich in the kitchen, and they're like, "Hey, so and so, like, what do you think?" And he runs over to the computer. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, my mouse isn't working, and when I hit unmute, it doesn't unmute me." And I'm just like, that is the energy that I would like to keep with Zoom. Mm-hmm. There are super specific things that I will make sure that I'm hyper present for. Mm-hmm. But if we can handle it via an email, via
110%.
Don't even get me started.
I'm just like, I don't.
But our
This
industry
could have been an email.
Our industry is the industry of that. Do you know why though?
Because everything has to be present. You have to be in person for everything.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. There is no work from home for us. You can't be bartending from home and then shoot it off.
Some would say that you could when they're doing when they were doing the virtual classes.
True.
Some would say.
Well, but I mean, okay. So, I mean, we might have to develop that idea where we can create like restaurant stuff, like a whole experience.
They sort of did that, but not on. Well, okay. Hear me out.
We're giving Zoom a whole ass moment right now.
Put on your VR goggles.
I'm saying it, trademarking it in terms of service mode. Okay, you buy a kit and it has a set date for a class. The kit is delivered before the class, and then you go through the entire cooking process together.
I mean, I think that exists. I have an idea.
Yeah. What's the real idea?
Maybe I shouldn't even say this.
Don't do it if it's real, but say trademark beforehand.
Really not. My attorney friend has informed me that just because I say TM, that does not mean it's
I know,
trademarked.
but I want to shame someone
maybe 10
enough.
times.
Well, we're gonna go ahead.
It's like, that's not legal.
Like,
let me live my life.
Legally binding.
That's not binding, Just leave it. But what if you saw that news about the TV that you can lick now? Have you seen this?
No.
Yes.
What if you put on your VR goggles?
No.
And you sit down at your home countertop or whatever
and you
with your lick TV, and I make you drinks, and you can lick the.
Listen, okay.
It's like being at the bar.
Okay. Once again, it's going back to
taste.
It's going back to RuPaul.
You're not going to get drunk
because this is
probably.
real.
No, not at all.
You're going to have to put your own grain alcohol in there.
Listen,
to get the effects.
This is the thing.
It's great.
Poor people have been doing that forever. Be like, I am broke and I'm out here watching Great British Bake Off every night to go to sleep. And I'm like, I want to taste that shit. I want to eat it. I'm out here being more hungry.
I need to watch that because I hear it is
I feel that way with
drama-filled.
Chopped.
You haven't watched?
No. I don't watch it anymore.
Okay, so listen, I don't like cooking shows because I don't care.
I don't know what that is.
I do care about baked goods, but I don't like sweets. I'm not a sweet person, but I love watching Great British Bake Off because, hold on.
You want a good tart flambe. Then.
Because they're all nice to each other. They're helpful.
Are they nice or are they proper?
No,
are you saying you want to do a RuPaul baking show? Is that what you're saying?
I know a lot of drag queens that would be down for that shit.
That is where you need to put
TM.
The TM. That. Because we know that RuPaul is out here having more variants than COVID could ever imagine.
Oh my God.
Okay, so there is that.
No, that's Bravo. Sorry.
Okay, well, also
that's Bravo.
Also that, but,
that is Bravo. There's an entire chain.
Do you know how many different
housewives.
RuPaul drag races there are?
Listen, I am blocking out
that's fine.
the rest of it because I just started this journey.
That's fine.
I texted my old roommate Rolando and my friend Bethany, who is a drag queen here in Chicago, Emma Stoned. Check her out at Berlin.
Yes, Emma Stoned!
She is a bio drag queen, and it is great. I didn't even know that was a fucking thing until like she was like,
now.
I'm going to do this. But it is, I don't want to like go into a whole separate like banter about that, but I'm just saying support your local drag community because they're doing a lot.
Yes.
They're doing a lot culturally. Yes. If you like all the sassy things that we say, that's us because we
Chances
black.
Shout it out to the culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
But drag culture is definitely something that I think sort of parallels the camaraderie of the service industry because they're part of it. They're providing a service.
Totally. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Like, I mean, these drag shows, like,
I think
where are they happening?
No, that's a lie. My third job in Chicago was at Kit Kat Lounge.
I remember.
In Boys Town. And that's how I learned about like drag, really.
That's right around the corner from where I lay my head.
Yeah.
And can we mention very quickly, I don't know if you guys have ever talked about this before, but the performers in our industry and just in the performing arts, you know,
they all work.
They are literally the people that don't have any insurance whatsoever for a lot of them because they're self-employed. So the Drifter performers, when they
that's
came,
exactly what I was going to transition to.
I mean, they were just when talk about
happy
like
7th birthday, Liz.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, when we're talking about like the shutdown and things, like and like how you know how vulnerable we all are and how we can't do work from home.
Yeah.
Those guys really can't work from home. Like but
but they're still
burlesque
putting out
shows
the
virtual. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's about as fun as a online cocktail. You know what I mean? It's like it just lacks all the energy and
it's the feeling.
You still got to do what you got to do.
There. Yeah.
But those people are some of the most vulnerable in our industry.
Yeah, and also what's really interesting about that is like I feel like the height of the shutdown here in Chicago specifically really put to task the community of industry.
Yeah.
Right? And so something that I wanted to kind of back up on really, really quickly is so with people knowing who you are and, you know, just all the things that you've been a part of, what are some of the things that you just touched upon it briefly, but some of the things you want to like bring a lot of attention to within this industry?
Oh, that's a really loaded question.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we got some time, yeah.
Well, okay. So first of all, I mean, I think so many of us in this industry are guilty of the hustle, like, and you know, hustle responsibly is like such a real thing. Like,
right.
Some of us that do multiple jobs and are always trying to get our, you know. I can't help it. I just have to.
Me too. I've been trying. We've been trying.
I just want to be part of everything.
Be less, but it's because of the community that we've built. It's like usually a friend is asking you to do a thing, and you're like, "Oh my god, I love you," blah blah blah, and then you're like, "Yeah," and that's the thing about our industry is that we are our own community, but we can't afford to like socially support all of us when we can't even socially support ourselves.
Totally.
So, but I get it. 110%.
I mean, we gotta be very cognizant of that and trying to avoid the burnout because that is very real, and that's something that I very much experienced this year, like physical, emotional shutdown of my body.
Was it the like second one? I guess I should say. Were you one of the people that felt the burnout at the beginning of the pandemic when everything was shut down?
No.
Okay. So you
I
got
was
the
one
second
of the
wave.
people that felt immense relief.
Dang.
If that's so like, you know, there was that first week or whatever, 2 weeks when we, you know, things got shut down. We were like, oh, this is kind of weird. All right. And then you're watching the news and then it's like 250,000 people are going to die. And then I was like sobbing watching the news every day.
Yeah.
And then it became pretty clear that, you know, this wasn't going away. And that is, my husband had a really hard time. Like he was a 80-hour-a-week chef.
105 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I was very depressed.
You know, and it was just like
Well, because there's a lot
80
of
was an average, I would say.
locked into that.
That was our whole
life
and our friends and our social circle and everything. And when it happened, he was just like pacing around the house. Like, he's like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. Should I be doing something? And I think there was a part of me that once I finally said, like, honey, you need to just like
take time,
sit down, watch some TV. Like, there is nothing that we can do right now. We can't be looking for another job. We're not missing any like
events
social events that we're supposed to be at. We have no family things that we're supposed to be doing right now. We are literally just supposed to be sitting in the house, like not using too much toilet paper.
And not breathing on each other.
Yeah, and just like cooking food and hanging out. And like,
I literally gave away like 6 gallons of soup every 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, so much. Our restaurant, like, we were preparing for a very busy St. Patrick's Day weekend, and nobody came for that Saturday and Sunday brunch, and then we shut down, and we had like just thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of food.
Well, then, so also if you could speak, because, you know, we just mentioned the drifter, the other things that you are a part of just in regards to like ownership, flora, fauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, it just is what it is. It was like, when my husband stepped away from the industry and we still, you know, didn't
John's
know what
great,
was happening. He's the best.
Yeah.
He's the loveliest person, but he decided that he just mentally couldn't, you know, it's so hard to do kitchens these days anyway.
That was
then like
for me,
waiting around, trying to see what was going to happen with like the world. And, you know, and like every time that we talk about work and how like there's a shortage of people and there's no dishwashers and there's no like back of house support, there's no cooks, there's no servers, there's no bartenders. Yeah. Like, he's like, I can't imagine he's like, it was bad before. Now it's like just catastrophic. He's like, I just can't imagine doing that.
I feel that 100%.
So hard.
Very quickly had to make the decision of, do I go back to this thing or do I do something different? And my thing is like, when the shutdown happened and we started like actually communicating with each other about what's going on, and me taking a break and working a regular job and realizing that I could have better benefits, I can have a livable wage, pay time off, like all this stuff. And I was like, anyone in the service industry can transition to a regular job and succeed and be praised for the work that they're doing, because we've had to do so much more this entire time. We're like, this is a break. And
we wonder why people are leaving, you know?
Exactly.
It's just like, you said, if you don't like that, you know, minimum wage,
then go somewhere else.
Then go find a better job. Well, guess what?
And now they're
like, but why is
why can't I get into my restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh.
So my thing was
man.
I love cooking.
It's my birthday.
And I would do it.
It's my birthday. I have like 10 people coming. I know I didn't make a reservation.
That's the thing, though. It's like, I can't go back unless things change. And that's why I'm doing this with Justin and I'm working with Healthy Poor, because I still get to be a part of the service industry in a way that I feel like more so now than ever is really necessary. Right. And I talk to my therapist about this all the time. What's up, Molly? But like, I'm like, I really want to be doing this. I really want to be bringing mental health and like different ways of thinking about the workplace relationship to the like bar and restaurant industry,
but also to the masses as well, because it's really important. Well, it's really important that because there's, in my opinion, there are seldom few like tangible examples of classism, like as you're like in it. You know, it's just like you can be a fucking janitor, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with it. And you walk into a restaurant and you just decide that, you know, you're going to speak down to staff. You have like this like crazy, like kind of like king mentality. And that is something that I have just always felt is it's so unfair, because when you're leaving your reality and going into a restaurant, you have to lead with grace and empathy, because you're entering someone else's reality.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, just because you get shit on and like what you're doing, that does not mean that you get to be able to pass the buck to shit on these other people.
It's like a really fucked up, cyclical, like abusive relationship that people don't even know that they're participating in most of the time, because it's built to be like a fraternity where you don't realize you're being hazed until it's over.
Right. But then also, I think in the same vein, and you know, I'm not gonna go on a fucking rampage.
You can't stop it.
No,
you can't help it. Just do it,
no,
Justin.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's a freight train. It's rolling.
No, I'm just like, we're rolling down the tracks here. Like this is what's happening.
This is very Wario Stadium on the Switch 2021.
Yes. Nice reference. There you go.
It's for the kids.
Yes, it is for the kids. But I don't even
Max
know.
is like, I hate this.
I was like, I don't even know. But
what are we talking
when
about?
when people will say, you know, I can't believe that you're here during the pandemic, and also we bring up the pandemic a lot because we are still in it.
We're still in it.
is
It's happening.
Like,
all encompassing.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just like, oh, I can't believe that you're here. But I will never, ever,
I'm
ever
waxed,
forget.
vaxxed, and boosted, bitch.
I
but
will
it's still
ne-
happening.
Yes, I will never forget friends of mine talking about how they have worked crazy hours during the time to where like no one knew like what the fuck was going on. They couldn't qualify for health insurance, and guests would say shit to them like, well, what are you like doing here? You know, it's just like, what are you doing here? What are you doing
Why
here?
did you leave your home?
What are you doing here?
You
And
leaving
it's
your
just like-
house is the reason
so
that I'm
weird to
here.
be here.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so crazy. It's like, I haven't been here in like, you know, like so long. And it's like, okay.
You've
like,
seen
we
me
get
at
it.
events when I'm out in, like, when we're not doing something and we're, like, out. I'm awkward as fuck because I feel anxiety about being
forgot to
around
human.
people.
Like,
yeah, I don't know how to
how.
human anymore.
Hey.
Like, when I come here and I meet, like, all the people outside of my bubble, like, Max, we hang out. When there's, like, a time, now that he's working again like an adult man, back in the industry, we don't hang out as much. We switched. But like, I don't know how to person on a large scale anymore.
That's okay.
And I'm okay with
But
it.
we
At
should
first I was
all
like,
be doing that on a communal level. And that is why grace and empathy is so fucking important. Because
Listen.
we do not understand. We can empathize, obviously, with the impact of the shutdown and then like unemployment, and then like, you know, people have lost family members, just the trauma of, you know, if you're watching the news, which I think is one of the most fucked up thing about the news, is like these like COVID death tickers.
yes.
It's just like it's things like that.
But aren't you like addicted to it? Like I can't stop looking.
I
It's a
can't
train
stop
wreck.
it.
But
I
it's
can't.
horrible.
It's a train wreck. I check, and especially right now in like this surge that's happening, I can't help but look every day to see how terrible.
I've not
like in a
done
terror
I've not
circle.
looked at the like ticker in almost a year because I feel like I was emotionally drained at the beginning of all of this because I'm from Trinidad, and the sense of community that's there, because it's a fucking island, is high. Like, there are very few people
We're
who
all in
are
it together.
anti-vax. There are very few people who are, like, not fully vaxxed and boosted, even though it's a third world country and they're getting, like, second, third rounds of what other places didn't want, still doing the thing.
This is entirely true. One thing that I want to say to try and like bring it in is that, you know, there is this there's a great opportunity, and I mean, we've all lived through the opportunity of having hospitality be a building block of community.
Yes.
And a community that is chosen. And that is like, that's some of the best shit ever, right? Because to know that like people that you have just met and you have like just really, really grown with, they become like ambassadors for you. And
you mean like Jeremy and Zach?
Yes, but yes, absolutely, and that is extremely special. And for us to get through again this pandemic spin cycle that we find ourselves in, it's extremely vital that we hold on to building the community that we want to see when we finally get to the other side of this.
Yeah.
And there's
which
no,
they
and
predicted
you
as 2024 since the beginning of this.
I didn't want to hear that either.
Why not start now? Why not start now?
No,
That's
we
why I'm
started it last year, but we need to keep pushing this shit.
Right. Yeah. And I
shop
want
local and support your neighbors. And part of supporting your neighbors means keeping them healthy.
Yes.
Right.
Through vaccines.
Yes.
Are you talking about a sense of community?
I am.
Right. I was just like,
Wild.
well, look at that.
You
But
know?
also, Liz,
Yeah.
another question for you.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
You know, I say this not in a way to like gas you up, but when I look at
Love it when you do
certain
that.
things and when we chat,
He can't help it. He's an
it's-
Aquarius.
I know, yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, my birthday's soon. But anyway.
Are you registered at
The
10?
11th? What?
I was just like, oh.
Bitch, you need a registry one of these days.
Register your birthday.
I feel like that's
Target.com.
Register
a very
where?
Keep going.
Aquarius.
Actually, yeah, I was just like,
Continue.
no. We're
Keep
not
gassing
gonna-
me up.
Exactly.
Keep gassing me
No.
up.
So it's just like, you building like this like budding empire, like multiple properties. You've done so much with like different brands, and you're extremely well connected in this industry. So therefore, it's like, how do you envision the like moving forward with this situation that we're in?
Moving forward, like post-COVID, and
Yeah, and I feel like post-COVID
Yeah.
sounds like
Or-
it's happening soon.
let's hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
People
yeah.
think we're
I
in
think we're-
post-COVID now.
I think we're
Right.
doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
post-COVID.
Right.
I was just
Full
saying
speed
that in
ahead.
the beginning, the CDC said this won't be over till 2024, but politics got us believing that it was going to be over
Said
sooner.
only 5 days.
I know. Now they're
They said
out
ask your
here
boss.
fucking around
Yeah.
and finding out.
Yeah.
CDC said it's okay to drink Irish whiskey in the morning.
This is
fine.
entirely
It's
true.
it's not real if it's not from champagne.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. Then it's just sparkling COVID.
Yes.
Correct.
How do we move forward past this? I think again, you're hitting with the deep questions. I think the more that we are involved with multiple staffs, multiple projects, I think it just becomes like extra important to try and do the best for like the greater good, if that makes sense. Like, you just really have to kind of like double down on your values. My dad once said something to me about, this is kind of a little bit to the side of things, but it sort of pertains. My
It's
dad
allowed
is,
here.
if you can believe it, a Republican. However, he has said in the last several elections, he has voted with his values, not with his interests. So I try to think of that when I am managing or owning or even just working in an establishment or working an event or attending an event. I think it's really important that we like look out for each other
Right.
and try to do the best that we can. I think this is a hard time, and nobody's asking anybody to be a goddamn superhero. Just like
Yep.
do your best,
I had
like
a
just
realization
wear
about
a mask
that.
and try and be your like a good person, and don't try to rip off the bartender. And if you can, tip them, and if you can't, then
Carry out.
say, you know what,
Yeah.
this is like the one time of year that we're going out because it's my wife's birthday and we're really broke, and you know what, like
No, I
if somebody said that to me, I would be like, that's cool. Like, All right, I got
Be
you,
real,
babe.
keep it real.
Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
give you the best goddamn service you've ever had in your life.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're like, in the tip line, they're like, don't eat yellow snow. You know what I mean? But like, I think just like as a member of planet Earth, just like do the best you can. Take care of yourself.
110.
Take care of your community. Do everything you can. And I don't know.
So
Don't let
then
yourself slip into a downward spiral.
It makes me, beg like 2 follow-up questions. Like, what inspires you to still be a part of this industry? Like, what prompts you to stay? I know.
Okay.
And then
The gag.
And then also, right. But then also, is there a fulfillment that, like, are you still like fulfilled in this industry? Like, it's, I know that it's a larger question, but I mean, I feel
Is
like
it
it's an
fulfilled
important
or
one
does it still
because-
bring you joy?
Well, just like I would
because
hope that
both,
for
I think.
Yeah.
I think there is a reason that I'm still part of this. It's not because I have to be. I choose to be involved, and I really fell in love with bartending, and I thought it was like the coolest thing from a young age. When I was in high school, I took one of those like quizzes from the guidance counselor, and it was like, "What are you gonna be when you grow up?" And I
do that bartender
wanted to be a bartender. Yes, and I got bartender. To be fair, I think I may have like purposefully
I'm
skewed
dying.
the results. Like,
Okay.
Because
they were
I
like,
can't even get
"Do
that
you
shit on
like
BuzzFeed.
doing
How did you do that in school?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Would you prefer to do spreadsheets or scientific experiments, or do you prefer to make cocktails or something?" And I was like, cocktails. But it's a really fun job when it's fun, right? Like my favorite part about this industry is getting to, it sounds so stupid and cheesy and cliche, but like creating experiences for people. And like when people sit down and they're excited and you get excited and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm going to bring you this dish. It's my favorite dish on the menu." And
It's not cheesy though.
and like you,
Agreed.
"Oh, you don't think you like gin? Let me try and make you a cocktail that has gin in it." And then they go, "Oh my God, I love it." And you're like, "Oh," and everybody's like happy, and then they leave you a huge tip.
Right.
And that's great.
Yeah, I mean,
You're key. I love how you kept it real 100%.
Well, but I mean, like, it is fulfilling.
It's all
both-
layered, but it's also my job, and I need this to make a living so that I can
Yeah, I'm
afford
not here
to
for
live.
charity. But like when that happens, it's like the perfect storm of awesome. And then like your coworkers show up and they're like, "Hell yeah, it's Saturday. We're going out afterwards and we're gonna like party. We're gonna drink in the loading dock and
Drinking in the loading
yeah,
dock.
I don't know anything about that.
I was like, me neither. Yeah, we never.
But you know what I mean? Like, and then your coworkers are excited and everybody's happy, and it is a fun community to be a part of. And I don't want to rag on anybody that's in like an office job or anything, but like, man, I don't know how you sit in your office or your cubicle like all day, every day, like because I need that like.
Well, because
human
interaction.
It becomes an energy.
That's why we do what we
right?
do versus
Totally.
what they're doing. Like my
And
sister-in-law
creating.
has been working from home since I was in college.
No.
And when the panini happened, she was like, "I'm ahead of the game, baby." I was like, I love her.
Fair.
She's my favorite.
I think that that's great. And I think that there is probably like in a perfect world, it's like work from home like 3-4 days a week and then go out and work.
That's what I'm trying to do right
one day a
now.
week.
Right.
And that's like real hard to do, but then you show up like always in a good mood and you're your feet don't hurt, and I mean, it's perfect. I'm passionate about working a little bit in the bar.
But does this?
I like it.
Does this point of view also transfer over to ownership?
No.
Okay.
Is the short answer.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I wish it did. When you own a place, it is all encompassing. It's 24 hours a day. It is, and it's really hard. And there is a reason that owners make money because it is hard. It's hard, or lose a lot of money in more cases than most. It's you wake up in the morning and you look at spreadsheets or reports, and then you go to bed and you think My partner with the drifter and Flora, R.A.P., he is just constantly, his mind is constantly trying to turn over new ideas and new products and new, like he was telling me he has like a house in Kentucky, and he has like a really nice river, let's just say, running through the back. And he was like, I think I want to do like bottled water. I might like come up with my own bottled water line. Like that kind of shit just doesn't happen in my brain. And he's just constantly like, okay, what if we did this? What if we did this partnership over here? What if we transfer like it's a 24/7
though. I feel like might be the thing that you bring to it in the partnership, because I feel like in working in the food and beverage industry, there's so many things that we want to do and we're aware that it's a necessity, but we won't do it because limitations. And that's the thing. I think
it's unusual that he's the dreamer though, and I'm the one that's like, but here's the thing. Like, I think that's a role reversal.
I felt like I was always a dreamer, and then I became an executive chef, and I was like, we cannot do that financially. It's that I think that there is a like hint of realism that we get by being in the industry, because at a certain point we have to say no. And I think those are the moments where we're like, no, we cannot do that. Maybe it's right now we can't do that, and it's something that we bring back later. But I feel like our sense of reality, based on the fact that most bars or restaurants don't make it through the first year.
Yeah.
We know that, whereas people who weren't a part of the industry, but they want to like be a part of it by owning, don't necessarily get that part of it, because they're like their ideas and they're generating like what they think everyone wants, but realistically it might be something that they want and they think other people want it. Where our job is to make
there is such a thing as
want.
mass appeal.
Yes.
And as much as it's not as sexy and exciting and flashy, and you don't get as many, eater highlights, like sometimes you have to
make and sell Trinidadian food. I understand.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not a lot of people out here trying to fuck around and find out.
There's a reason pizza places are crushing. And they stay in business for 80 years.
Right.
So we're starting to hit time, but again, I really want to touch on like two more things. So the first that comes to mind that you and I have obviously talked about off mic is
off the record.
Yeah.
Wait, it's on the record now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Brands. Exactly. Brands, specifically restaurant brands, and their inner working culture being shared with, just the public at large, and navigating that in regards to only being mindful of their bottom line and not necessarily being mindful of their employees, in which they have built that brand on the backside. And like,
it stinks. That's my comment.
Yeah, great.
It stinks.
Yeah, it stinks.
That's it.
Great. Yeah.
I mean, I think that restaurateurs are going to find out that it's kind of like a new dawn, a new day.
Why are people saying things that I can't sing about?
Okay.
I mean, right? Like,
fair.
Michael Bublé, if he were just here, that would be so much better.
God.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But I think that they're finding out really quickly, and it takes like one scroll through the Chicago service industry page on Facebook. Like, it takes one look to be like, this group is not figuring it out. And like, you just can't, there's no more of this, like, sorry, you can't have Halloween through January 2nd off.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And also, like, you can't eat during your shift, during your 10-hour shift. Like, that's just not happening anymore. And I think that is something that even these big groups are starting to realize, that they're like,
oh shit, we have
to treat these people like humans.
Like human beings. That's the whole thing.
They just want to go to the bathroom and eat at one point.
I don't want to feel like I'm in high school
during a 10-hour shift.
At work. where I have to ask permission to go to the fucking bathroom.
Ma'am, can I go potty? Like,
Yeah.
can I have a bathroom pass?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like everyone thinks that we need to be micromanaged so much that we don't know how to like live a life successfully outside of work. And that's bullshit. Like, how do you expect people to be adults and take ownership for the work that they're producing if you don't give them the opportunity to do that?
Okay. Well, and that is great because I want to flip that because I'm thinking about the ownership of consequence, right? So, yeah.
We talked about
yeah,
this
you know exactly where I'm going with that. So, again, we here at Terms of Service do not believe in cancel culture. We believe in that of consequence culture. And if you're, again, championing for the change that you believe in, then you have to provide a road to redemption.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we can't just keep saying like you're canceled and you need to move into a cave and never be heard from again. Like if you are doing the thing and you're walking the walk, talking the talk, and you like we're humans.
Right.
We are not infallible, and you know, if we're going to hold people accountable, I think that's amazing. But that at the same time, we also have to say, like, okay, people are human and they screw up, and we do need to provide a chance for them to make it right. Now, of course, there are limitations to this. If you murder a family of 5 and you eat their brains, like, that's not cool.
That's awesome.
That's not cool.
Yeah, that's so not cool, bro.
That's not cool. And, you know, maybe you should move to a cave.
Yeah.
But, like, with prison bars on it.
With bars on it, yeah. So,
but you know, like, I can't think... Oh my God, there's so many times I've like put my foot in my mouth or like said something just so stupid that because we're like people and our brains don't work as fast as they sometimes should. Mm-hmm. And I say just like the dumbest shit all the time. And I can't tell you how many times people at work, I'm like, oh, were you on vacation? They're like, no, my mom died. And I'm like, fuck.
You're like,
somebody needs to tell me this.
You're like, I was like, that should have been mentioned. I was like,
we should have talked about that in pre-show.
Yeah, I was like, was there a card?
Oh my God. It's terrible. So, but like, especially in this industry, I think that it is so important, you know, that we hold the leaders, especially of our industry, accountable. And I think that because of Facebook, because of, you know, like all these like, it's just so easy to like call people out and not like have a conversation.
Right.
And I've been called out before on Facebook, and I'm just like, no, I'm not even like fucking
engage.
You know, and I should like call that person and be like, let's talk about this, because obviously I said something that upset you. Why did it upset you? What could I have said that was better? You know, and I feel like we need to do better at that, at holding people accountable, saying, hey, that's fucked up, don't say that.
And taking ownership.
This is why it hurts my feelings. And then if that person is receptive, then allow them to do better.
Yeah.
But don't just say, hey, you said this dumb thing and now you should go die. Like, that's stupid.
Well, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, and of course with boundaries on that. You know,
well, that's the thing. It's like
eating brain's not cool.
Right. So I just have a kind of final question as we begin to wrap up. So according to Eater Chicago, 216,500 industry jobs were lost during March, or as of date, March of last year. And so not only as a contributor, but a leader within the industry, what are your thoughts about this, you know, labor exodus, which I believe you've touched upon earlier, but I just wanted to really talk.
What are my thoughts on it, man? It sucks is what I think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to get back, if we'll get back. Do we want to get back? I don't know. Like, when we talk about going back to the way things were, that seems kind of silly because I don't think things were that great before either. Yeah. Especially for hospitality workers. But I think I think this is a point of reckoning in our industry, and people are realizing that they can have something different if they want it. Mm-hmm. And I think employers are realizing that as well, and that people are not disposable. They are humans, and these are people's lives. And I think we as a community also need to make an effort to try and patronize those places that are really making the steps to try and make lives easier and better for our industry pals. And, vote with your dollars and tell people that you appreciate what they're doing. And, for God's sakes, don't argue about the freaking COVID surcharge on your bill.
For real.
You know what? It's 3% or 2%. Or some of these restaurants I've seen, they have like 5% charge for like health insurance for their employees.
Right.
Or if you're not going to pay that 5%, you better tip the shit out of these people.
Or just keep your ass at home.
Right.
Keep your broke. My daddy told me, if you ain't got no money, keep your broke
ass home.
Can we do that?
In the immortal words.
I'm doing it anyway.
Okay, we're doing it.
Are we not allowed to talk about Fergie?
We're allowed to talk about Fergie.
Not allowed to sing it. But I
have a problem where I like to sing things, and I keep singing things. And if we want Apple Daddy to put it on there, we have to Apple Daddy.
They're gonna ask for ASCAP.
Okay.
That's a real.
Yeah. I know.
I was like, that's not a.
No, I know.
You're like, I'm not thing.
No, I know.
It's fine.
I know. No. So
my boyfriend last night asked me for an ASCAP.
Good for you. I was like, there we go.
It's a real thing, you guys.
Yes.
So.
And a cost of doing business.
Well,
pay your artists and musicians.
Yes.
And thank you for mentioning performers, because I feel like that's a very,
we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, it's like,
do we not all love performers?
Right.
Then support
Except
them.
I can't go to like open mic nights and stuff, because when people are like having their emotions in real time, my empathetic ass will start crying with them, so I just stay at home.
What kind of open mics are you going to? I feel like I'm not going to that place.
I can't go to like plays and stuff, because when people are having their emotions in real time, I will cry. Like, I don't cry in real life, but if I'm watching a television show or a movie or at like a theater, bitch, I'm crying.
I love that.
I can't do it. Well, I wear too much makeup to do that, so I just don't go out.
There's a solution for that too. It's called waterproof. So
Rihanna started making it, and I've been testing it. So
okay,
like,
stay tuned for a future episode.
Fellow Aries.
No, Pisces, but hella Aries in that placement.
Thank you.
Damn it! I was about to say work.
Yes. Yes. Well, as
work
we
comes
do
to
the
an
things,
end.
as the work comes to an end,
that can be held.
Yes,
that's the quote.
Liz, how was your time with us?
Well, I drank 2 cocktails, so I'm feeling pretty good. So
fantastic. So I hope that you felt comfortable and all the good things.
The coziest.
Yeah, and you had some
I was
fun.
like, are we about to start asking people how they feel at the end of episodes? I fucks with it. I'm down. I'm like, please gas
this
us
is
up.
an exit interview.
Yeah, I'm taking stock. I'm taking stock.
1 to 5.
I was like,
did you feel safe?
I was like,
yes.
Hold my hand.
I was like, a safe space?
Yeah, how are you doing with us? But
the plants
from
helped.
you.
Do you like
Thank
them?
you.
I really did.
I take them home and I water them and I talk to them a little bit.
It really reminded me of like Between Two Ferns.
Yes.
Are we not allowed to say that?
No.
Yes, we're gonna say it. It's amazing.
So
but we're gonna put a pin in that because we're gonna reference that because that is amazing. We hope that we get Between Two Ferns energy.
Yo, listen, I want to be.
You guys should interview Zach Galifianakis.
I want to be Between Two Ferns, but only the episode where like Cardi B shames the dude from Seinfeld on behalf of Kesha. That's the episode that I want to channel.
That. There we go. Yes.
Zach Galifianakis dick. Please hear us.
Well, in closing,
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
so again, I just want to touch upon not only thanking you for sitting down with us, but also just you amplifying the needs of your colleagues and the industry as a whole. Because, like, literally, I'm not gonna get emotional, which is what I said earlier.
Too late. You're
it's
already
like, but
doing
that
Whenever you say that, you're already emotional.
period. But also, like, I think that it's so fucking awesome, and I think that it should be celebrated.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if it is a new normal, but I definitely feel like it fucking should be. You know, it's just like showing people how much they mean to you.
Mm-hmm.
Advocate for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then also doing it in a way in which they still have agency for themselves.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So, like, honestly,
perfect.
Thank you. Thank
Advocate for your pals, but let them have their own legs.
you. Yeah. So
Advocate for your pals, but let them have their own vowels. Use.
Liz, is there anything
We're gonna
else
keep
that
working
you're
on
like,
that.
Okay. I was like, is there anything,
we're gonna workshop that.
Anything else that you would like to say in closing? And also,
Where can we
please
find
drop
you?
the Instagram.
Yeah.
So we know where to find you.
My
All
closing
of the
remarks
grams.
would
Yeah.
be kind until it's not warranted.
I know
and then,
that's right.
And then be fierce.
Okay.
Yes.
You can find me on Insta at LizzieP217. That's LIZZY
Oh.
217. I'm not Lizzie McGuire. And I'm on the old F book too.
Okay.
Oh my God, Facebook. Has she been here before?
Perfect.
Have we talked about Facebook on here?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all in the
No, but we
meta-universe.
we got
The
it. We have a
metaverse.
Facebook, y'all.
Yeah.
If you want to hit up terms of service,
If
we
you're
got that
still
too.
there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We are on the Facebook business page.
Meta.
But in the meta, it's just, you know, we will see you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so, as
hosted by
I
Meta.
always do, the things that we need to do.
Yes.
Shout out to Blind Barber for hosting this necessary conversation.
100.
Thank you so very much, Liz Pierce, and Fighting 69th Irish Whiskey.
I fucks
Because
with her.
it is delicious, but also in the same breath, let us give our full acknowledgement to Ryan of the Garnet team for
100.
concocting these beautiful beverages. Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks for getting us hammed in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's great. Absolutely. We're feeling good. And our lovely producer, Max, obviously Cortez, when it comes to all things documentation. Shout out to your plant daddy for the aesthetics. And I am Justin Arnett Graham, and you can find me on Instagram at WhatSpeako.
And my name is Nariba Shepherd. You can find me at Rebaru, REBARU, on the gram, and that's it. Have a good day.
And happy 7th birthday to the Drifter. Peace.
Murmur.